Hey there, Wastelanders, it's Brother Mike. Welcome back to 7 Days in New Vegas. In the last video, we broke down the opening events of Fallout New Vegas, the mysterious attack on the Courier, the major players involved, and the setup for one of the most important decisions in the Mojave Desert. But today, Day 2, we're stepping back from the Courier's personal story to take a look at the bigger picture. The power struggle for New Vegas itself. 4 factions, 4 visions, and 4 completely different endings that reshape the Mojave in their own image. So without further ado, let's break down the groups fighting for control. The NCR, Caesar's Legion, Mr. House, and Yes Man. Founded on democratic ideals, it started small. Just a handful of settlements trying to rebuild society, and eventually grew into a major regional power. By the time of New Vegas, the NCR spans hundreds of miles, but expansion comes with problems: corruption, slow decision-making, and military spread too thin to protect its borders. The NCR's main goal is simple: hold the Hoover Dam. It's not just a power plant, it's a lifeline for the entire region. Whoever controls the dam controls electricity, water distribution, and the economic future of the Mojave Wasteland. Soldiers stationed in the Mojave often operate with limited supplies, conflicting orders, and poor communication. Some believe in the mission, others resent being dragged out into the desert for a war they don't fully understand. Some of their strengths include stable leadership structure, infrastructure and economic growth, protection for civilians, and a long-term vision for rebuilding society. But some of their weaknesses include bureaucracy slows progress, corruption from within their own government, overextended forces, locals reject being annexed and taxed. Siding with the NCR means choosing democratic order, stable, familiar, and functional, but weighed down by the inefficiency and overreach of an overbearing government. On the other side of the Mojave stands Caesar's Legion, an authoritarian empire forged from dozens of conquered tribes. Led by Caesar, a former follower of the Apocalypse, the Legion operates under a rigid interpretation of ancient Rome ideology. But make no mistake, while the Roman inspiration is real, the Legion is far more brutal. Their society is built on domination, force, and absolute obedience. How do they operate? The Legion imposes a strict discipline on its soldiers and its people. Crime is nearly non-existent, not because of justice, but because of punishment. Punishment is swift and brutal. Slavery, crucifixion, and a forced assimilation are commonplace within the Legion. To Caesar, defeating the NCR at Hoover Dam is symbolic. He views the NCR as a weak, unstable republic destined to collapse, and the Mojave as his first stepping stone towards a new empire in his own Rome. Some of the Legion's strengths are extremely disciplined military, efficient leadership, simple chain of command, and tight control over conquered regions. But some of their weaknesses are harsh treatment of civilians, technological limitations. The Legion depends heavily on Caesar's vision. Brutal ideology makes them unpopular with most locals and traders. In summary, a Legion ending promises order, but only through fear and force. It creates stability, but at a moral cost most of the Mojave isn't willing to pay. In the heart of New Vegas sits Mr. House, the pre-war businessman who personally preserved the city during the Great War. Using advanced defense systems, he prevented most nuclear strikes from hitting Vegas, allowing the Strip to survive almost fully untouched. Mr. House's vision is rooted in efficiency and technological process. He sees the Mojave as a place he can rise above the chaos of the wasteland, but only under the guidance of someone who can think long-term, free from human error. Mr. House built and controls a massive Securitron army, designed as a backbone of a future society. He believes that with economic growth, tourism, and strict control, New Vegas can become the centerpiece of a new human renaissance. He doesn't trust governments, he doesn't trust tribes, he barely trusts people, but what he does believe in is data, prediction, and centralized control. Some of his strengths include being extremely technologically advanced, highly organized, a long-term visionary that goes through loads of planning, and minimal corruption due to centralized rule. Some of his weaknesses are completely autocratic, no democratic input. No one's actually ever been allowed in the Lucky 38. Or has met him personally. Built around a single person's survival, and the ambiguity of himself. A Mr. House ending is efficient, stable, and calculated, but it requires surrendering some freedoms to one mastermind with a singular vision. But is that so bad when he's been able to preserve himself for over 250 years? And finally, there's Yes Man, the independent ending. This path rejects all major power structures and puts the future of New Vegas directly into the Courier's hands. Yes Man is a reprogrammed Securitron built to be completely loyal and endlessly agreeable. With him, the Courier can bypass NCR policies, Legion brutality, and Mr. House's tight control. The Courier gains control of the entire Securitron army, secures Hoover Dam, and begins shaping the Mojave's future based on their own outlook. Each faction's fate, Goodsprings, the Kings, the Boomers, the Brotherhood of Steel, becomes a direct choice tied to the player's moral compass. Some of his advantages would be full independence for New Vegas, no outside government or dictator, local communities gain more autonomy, the Courier can encourage cooperation between factions. But some of his disadvantages and risks are, there is no established authority or long-term plan, potential instability due to him being an AI, the region's safety depends heavily on one individual, and trading governance would become inconsistent. Also, at the end of the game, he takes it upon himself to upgrade himself and make himself more assertive, potentially being an upgrade, reinstating Mr. House into the system. But that is just a theory that I'm saving for day 5 of this series. Also, shout out to Oxhorn for broadcasting that theory on his latest video. Thank you very much. But, nevertheless, the Yes Man ending is freedom in its purest form. But freedom always comes with uncertainty, especially when it's in the hands of an AI that can't say no. So those are the 4 factions that can shape the Mojave. Each one brings a different ideology, a different structure, and a different idea of what the future should look like. And you may be wondering more about the people who run these factions. But don't worry, tomorrow's episode is going to be all about the major characters in Fallout New Vegas, and possibly who we're going to see in the new season. This has been Brother Mike, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and as always, stay safe out there, Wastelanders.